There has been some efforts recently to misrepresent our department by some who claim that we have a low clearance rate compared to other agencies, and even go as far as to say that this indicates that we're not solving crimes, but that is completely false. It's just not true. The TBI category label clearance does not specifically mean that a case has been solved. This statistic refers to how a report's handled, not necessarily the disposition of the case itself. This statistic is easily manipulated, it's easily misrepresented, and that's exactly what's going on here. For example, many agencies request exceptional clearances for numerous reasons, such as when a victim refuses to prosecute, that there's a death of the offender, if the suspect's already in custody, or if the offender's a juvenile. The McMinn County Sheriff's Office rarely requests exceptional clearances. We choose rather to allow cases to remain open because there's further efforts going on to solve that case, to return property, or to make an arrest maybe at a later date. Cold cases are important to us. They're important to the victim. And so we feel like that we want to continue to work on those, and so we may not clear those out immediately. Finally, the TBI, in the first page of its crime statistics website, specifically cautions against comparing crime rates among different agencies, because different agencies clear cases out of their systems for different reasons, as we're talking about here. This statistic is very useful, though, when you compare the work that an agency has done of itself over several years. For example, a closer look at specific crimes like burglaries. A higher percentage of burglaries have been cleared by our agency, by our department, since I've been in office, than were cleared the last 3 years that my opponent was in charge of the general operations of this department. Crimes are down about 1,000 reported crimes a year, which is about 30 to 40% compared to the last 3 years of when my opponent was in charge of the day-to-day operations of the department. When you compare apples to apples, you really get a better understanding of what is going on now as compared to what was going on then. Finally, clearance rates have nothing to do with whether a crime was solved or not. The fact is, we solve many more crimes than were solved when my opponent was in charge of the day-to-day operations of the department. We recover more stolen property. We make better cases. We have more inmates in our jail on McMinn County Sheriff's Department cases than any other agency. We know what's going on. We know that it to be right. Our citizens, we know that our citizens know the difference in the word cleared and the word solved. Unfortunately, some of my opponents don't seem to either care or just don't know the difference. And anyone who would imply that a low clearance rate means that you're not solving crimes simply does not understand what crime statistics are all about, and are clearly misrepresenting and misusing that statistic, period.